Welcome back, my friends. You handsome gentlemen. Cheers to you, to life. Today is a little bit gloomy, and I went for a little walk, and my hands were almost frozen off, and I came back inside. But on my walk, I thought about when I was a younger boy. I grew up in a really strict Christian family. My mother was super strict. You know, we did devotions every morning. We went to church, and she would never let me have girls over. Girls to me, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to this, were like sacred angels. So I grew up my entire boyhood revering women. I was taught to be nice, to treat them with kindness. And this is good, but it went to a point of like, I was scared of them. In high school, when the girls would approach me, I was never allowed to, have a girl over, really hang out with girls. I wasn't allowed to have sex. Oh man, I remember getting caught watching porn one time. The most shameful thing that I could have done. I remember I grabbed my babysitter's ass, and she, I was told on by my little fucking sister, and I got beat. So I grew up my entire life with this mentality of like, you gotta be careful. All right, women are to be. You gotta be careful around them. You gotta treat them right, and you gotta make them comfortable and make them feel good. So this boyhood mentality stuck with me, even when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And even still now, that internalization that we have from our parents. Because you spend fucking 15, 20, 25 years at home, right? Some parents encourage their kids, stay with me, right? It's better to be at home. So it wasn't until I was around 19 that I kind of set off on that hero's journey. Not really out of my own willingness to do so, just because life forced me out that door. And the hero's journey forced me to step out of that boy psychology, whereas I had all these influences and opinions of the church and my mom and dad. I was now on my own to face the world and to make my own path. So what began to happen is I would run into situations where I wanted to meet new women. And as I did so, I would feel this uneasiness, this anxiety around them. But I was like, no, I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to break off from this way of thinking that was put in me from a young age. Now, two things happen when you are stuck in this mentality of pleasing, of results. My mom, the church, had taught me that you have to be a certain way. That you have to treat women with respect, that you're not going to have sex until marriage, and this did two things. The first was to always seek the result, to always care about what she thought about me. Is what I'm saying appropriate enough? Is what I'm saying witty enough? Is what I have to say good enough for this girl to please her, or that she will now think about me better? All right, that's the first thing. The second thing it made me do was be ashamed. It made me question myself all the time. And by being result orientated, by seeking the approval of someone else, I was never free to express myself. See, when we are focused on the outcome, when we're focused on what other people think about us, it causes us to care way too much. See, that's not a true expression of the heart. We're thinking more, what can I say to make them like me? You see, but as I begin to start talking to more people and I started to say hi to more girls, it snapped on me. It was like, shit, if I just express myself from a place of, I want to say what the fuck I want to say. I'm going to be who I am. I'm not trying to cater to what you think about me. I'm going to say what I feel in my heart. And as I began to do that, I started to bring forth what I had very dear in my life. I would talk about energy workouts. I would talk about the universe, and girls would fucking fall in love with that shit. I would talk about the universe and they'd want to talk for hours, right? Because this was stuff that I was exploring in my brain at the time, stuff that I cared about. I didn't care about what they cared about. I was still respectful. I was still kind. But my goal wasn't to just get them to like me. All right? And that is true expression from the heart. When you can bring that to the day, guys, a lot of times we have to abandon that young boy psychology from our parents. And I think that a lot of you still live with your mom and dad, and eventually you will set out on that hero's journey. And eventually the hero dies, and it is transformed into the masculine man. But it's not until you set out on that journey and leave behind those old ways of thinking. The true expression comes from inside. That's why you can talk forever. You can talk about anything, and it can sound good. I could talk about creatine on my fridge, and I can make it sound like the most awesome thing, or the sardines sitting right here, because I like that stuff. But if I talk about something just to impress or just to get a response, then it's not true expression. It's not from the heart. It's not something, whatever though. You can do whatever you want. But it's ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I always trying to impress? Why am I trying to be nice all the time? And then go within yourself and see how you were raised, guys. See that internalization of your youth and break free. Abandon that. Set off on your own path. Start to make yourself nervous. Start to say hi. Start to approach those girls. Get uncomfortable, man. Find out how you express yourself. What makes you tick, and then bring that to the world. Hope this video has helped you guys. I'll see you soon.